Hey, what's up? It's your boy Bobby Sapphire, and it is time for everyone to get aboard the SWU Hype Train. With me today, as always, is my buddy Justin, who's on vacation with his family. He's out in the Great White North.
We got the mountains in the background. We went you can see this mountain right here. We went tubing today. We're going skiing
Bro,
tomorrow.
you're so far
Um,
north, it's got to be cold up there.
it's a little chilly and there's a lot of noise inside the hotel, so I'm sacrificing for the pod. I'm outdoors. It's about 20 degrees.
Nice.
Got
Love
my
it.
hoodie though, my iced coffee. I'm ready to roll.
I also have my hoodie and a nice coffee. I just got back from vacation. There's Maddie in the office ripping packs.
I do not know what you're talking about.
No, you're
Yeah, ripping a little packies. Although I
New
did
Rick
just
Bound
rip a
set. It's okay.
yeah, new rip bound set just dropped, so that's my secondary game. But I will say this: funny enough, I ripped two carbonite packs before we went to New York and got a Leia showcase,
I know, that's
and that
so
was pretty
hot.
cool.
Love that one.
Yeah,
That's hot.
and then I forgot to bring it, and then I didn't even open a Leia. And Leia eliminated me. So
Oof.
say
Leia.
Leia.
Yeah, it's tough. On episode 3 of the SWU Hype Train, we're going to be talking about regional championship and that hype. Today was a wild day in the SWUniverse. Galactic tickets went on sale today as of this recording. The prizes leaked, and I want to PQ this weekend, the one that we talked about last week in New York City. So we'll talk about that and more. We're going to check out some new spoilers. And have a great show for you. And if you want to check us out, follow us. Go to patreon.com/KTOD. Sign up as a free subscriber. Get all our updates, get links to the podcasts, and more. If you want to be a paid subscriber, we get the Discord extra streams, like the video that Justin and I did going over my draft, which we'll talk about later.
Yeah, I didn't yell at you much. It was mild. Yeah.
We'll talk
It's
about
hard to yell at someone who gets past 2 beguiles. That was pretty hot.
yeah, and Alea later.
I think it cost 3.
And then quick shout out to our VIPs, Achilles, Immerhill, ATP, Psycho Hazard, Edgy Sithler, Beeflo, Zefke, Travis, Sam, Tartaglione, Michael Fry, Chris, Ty Fabes, Balls, Rick, Mitch, Dave, Luna, and M. So many of whom will be in Milwaukee this weekend.
Yeah,
and the VIP hang hype is real.
Hyped to see the VIPs in Milwaukee. Also hyped that you always laugh when you say balls.
I can't
Every time,
not say
without
balls.
fail.
You crack yourself up.
Even today when someone was like, oh, I got the early link to the Galactic tickets, Balls found it. I'm like, balls. He's so good.
It's
The
always
goat.
so
On the
good.
ball.
I mean, it's just such a move to be like, yeah, my name is Balls. It's so insane. Oh, I love it. All right, so
Man.
shout out to those guys. Yeah, so
Like, what's your balls? All right.
VIP and regular tickets for Galactic Championship this summer in Las Vegas went on sale today. And as expected, the VIP package was sold out in minutes. It actually blew a lot of people out because it didn't go live right as they said. Luckily for me, I had my wife drive home from our vacation so I could do this, but we were delayed. It didn't even go live till I was in a Walmart. I had to like pull over my cart and sign up. But Maddie, you
What
were
aisle
able
were
to
you
get.
in?
I was getting some all dressed Lays, so I was in the chip aisle.
Ooh, you do like your chippy.
I was getting provisions.
I got in. I got the prestige. If I was gonna bet on one person to not be in tune and not get the prestige worldwide, it would have been me. It's February vacation, so I
Prestige
emailed it
Worldwide.
to myself a snip of it, prestige worldwide, in case I didn't get the email. So I was cooking on that one for a while.
I set an alarm. I did exactly what Mike did. I like got off of my little chairlift thing on vacation, went into the lodge, made sure I had Wi-Fi ahead of time, logged in, and then it just I got an error message, and then when it spat me back out, I saw basically exactly what was on the screen now, which was both were sold out. I even got dragged by FFG or Asmodee because they sent me the email like, you left something in your cart. Would you like to continue? And it was the
Oh no!
So, yeah, rough times, but it's all good. I will say it's exciting that people want to go and get the premium experience. Like, people are eager to participate. We saw that last year at Galactics, where it was like, all these people are coming. They're hyped. The lines, the lines were a part of like the disaster from last year, where they just like lines out the door. But at the same time, like they had lines out the door. So
Yeah.
Galactics was insane last year, and like our only gripe was that it was so hype, and then like they all went to Gen Con and forgot that like somebody in their company should keep up the hype train, and it like kind of got derailed for a minute.
Yeah.
But yeah, Worlds was Galactics was so insane, and I have all the faith that it will be just as good, if not better, this year.
Yeah, the VIP pack. I would like to know how many of each VIP package there were. I don't know if that information is out as the time of our recording because they just went live a few hours ago. But the regular VIP package, just coming with the bases, basically pays for itself. Like the acrylic bases are so nice. I've got some of your acrylic bases over here, Maddie, that I stole from you.
Oh yeah.
The acrylic bases are so nice, and they're really valuable. But the Prestige Worldwide VIP package, probably not worth, but like we are sickos who don't want to wait in those lines. So me and Maddie got it.
Yeah, the lines were kind of insane. Like I remember running into people who waited all morning in the line, and I was like, man, like they seem grumpy.
Yeah.
Like that was not cool.
CJ and those guys were like definitely pissed off. It is funny that like Steve's like, oh, did tickets go on sale? Old fashioned.
Yep. Yeah, that's right. We'll do this. We'll do the old 20-year-olds outside the bar pass back. Get you in there so we can hang. You can be my +1 to the dev breakfast.
Oh yeah.
I can't wait for some
kick sip to the curb.
Yeah.
But VIP premium weekend, it's going to be crazy. If you want to, actually, you can sign up for events right now. If you log into Melee and you go to the Galactic Championship Tournament Hub, I'll have the link in the description of this podcast wherever you're watching or listening, where you can sign up for the Last Chance Qualifier, the Galactic Open. That's happening Saturday, and you can the Galactic Eternal Open is already sold out. It's only got 128 seats.
That's
so
wild.
I would hit refresh on that. Yeah, I would have hoped that it was a little bit larger, especially since that's the event that a lot of people are going to want to do if they don't make day 3.
Right.
But it's going to be wild because people, they reserve their spots here, and then in Melee, if you unenroll, that spot will open back up. So if people make day 3 and they unenroll, people might be hitting refresh at like 8 a.m. on Saturday night.
That's pretty sick. I know there's been like a bunch of like leaks and whatever things have come out, and obviously I've been on vacation. I haven't been able to tap into everything. But is the Last Chance Qualifier? Is the expectation that it's going to be similar to last year, like in size? Because last year was gigantic. I mean, it filled that whole hall. But then this year, I did see that the cutoff is the cutoff different? What's going on?
It's slightly different. So it's a little confusing because the document, which we'll get to, I guess we can start talking about now. But there's a document that was leaked, the official rules. Actually, this is going to break the stream for a second. Okay.
Going to break the internet?
Yeah, it broke the internet for a second. Actually, it doesn't want to load. It looks like it got taken down, possibly. But it's 8 rounds, and you have to go 7-1 now. The doc calls it day 1, but I believe you need 21 points. So you can only have 1 loss to move on from the Last Chance Qualifier.
And it's capped at 8. But it's capped at 8 rounds.
Yes. Because it's just all 7-1s move on.
As somebody who bubbles out of like every freaking tournament, the X1 is really hard. Like I already don't love PQs, and I've taken a different approach to them. It's just so hard to go X1 in a tournament and cut. And so to spend all day grinding that is not the most fun prospect. However, and I am not even in it, so I totally forgot you had to sign up for that. But if I was to go in it, I would probably go in with a little bit of perspective that maybe we're already dead. We're just seeing how long it takes to die, because that is you have to get lucky and be playing out of your mind to go 7-1 in 8 rounds. It's very difficult to do. Granted, maybe the level of competition's a little lower because not everyone made it, but still, there's so many good people that play the game that I think that's kind of.
Yeah, I think this is what they want out of an LCQ, though. Like like something like 250 people made it in from day 1 last year. Justin, when Steve won that Last Chance Qualifier for the first Versus Pro circuit, do you know how many people qualified?
I don't think it was many, and I can tell you from like
a handful
from Magic what they've done I mean, for a lot of the Pro Tours I played, there was no last chance qualifiers. They kind of made it a private event. And then I think what they did a little more recently is they just had like very few. Like they would have like maybe 5, and you would have to just actually win it. So it would be like 6 rounds, and it was just round robin. Is that what it's called, round robin? Like, we're single elimination, where essentially you would just, like, if you lost your route, and you could even re-queue, but it wouldn't be many. It would be like very few people who would get in. But I think one of the things that maybe they're doing is they're making like the actual main event a little bit more like private feeling. It feels like, with the new structure, because I do know, like, when I played the Pro Tour in Portland, and I played the Pro Tour at in Brussels, which were the 2 that I remembered being very private, there weren't like other people really there, which is obviously different than this, because we have tons of people playing side events, opens, all that. But that it was essentially that if you were playing Magic, you were playing a pro Magic. You were at like qualified ahead of that. You qualified for that Pro Tour. So I wonder if they're making that event more similar to this, especially when you consider there is some pre-planning they need to do with like draft in different formats now. So that is potentially another reason to do it that way.
Right. One of my concerns that I think I've expressed a few places is that like so now we know as of today that the first 3 rounds of the Galactic Championship Day 2 will be draft. That means there's several hundred people in a call draft. Several people, and there'll probably be 100 people at least who've never done a call draft. I thought the call drafts in Philadelphia were immaculate. The call draft at like my PQ, I don't know how the one was in your Pittsburgh PQ, but it was definitely not the same terminology, and got a little looser. Like, so
absolutely,
even the people who've done call drafts,
you'll have like Jonah or someone who's well versed in it. They'll have the language down, the pack, lay out the pack.
Oh yeah. I have no concern about the judging aspect of it. My only concern is that 450 people or whatever are going to be drafting, and maybe like 50 of them have done a legitimate call draft before. That's my only, like, how smooth is it going to go? But that's fine, because it's all going to go fine. I've actually, like, no concerns. I just think, like, that's going to be a hiccup. The point that we were trying to talk about was...
There'll be people at every table that have done it, though, and there'll be judges, and I think that helps. Like, when I was, same thing, Magic, or even in Philly, where it was like, me and you were probably the only people at that first pod and the finals who played it, who done a call draft at, like, a GP or Pro level, Pro Tour level. There's, like, multiple table judges. If something does get mixed up, they can signal to the head judge, who can actually pause it, and they'll have a 20-second delay. That happened in Magic once, where there was someone who like had a card that basically got slipped into another pack by accident. One happened 16,
in versus 2,
yeah, and they're pretty good at this. I think when you see those, when you go to a tournament, you see like 80 judges all huddled together. You kind of have like good, like before it starts, like, yeah, you know what, we're in good shape. Like, there's going to be someone at each one
for sure,
and there's going to be a ton of judges at World, like Galactics. There were last year.
Yeah, the point, like, I'm not really, like I said, I'm not really concerned. The point that I'm trying to make is like, this main event is like becoming the real professional event of Star Wars Unlimited. And like, I like that they want to make that main event more exclusive, because then for the people who aren't in that, or maybe like aren't at the level to compete in that, the rest of the weekend is like SWU convent, like SWUCon 2026.
The Open and all the other, the Eternal event and all that stuff.
They're adding Triumvirate. They're now adding the 3-man team event, Triumvirate.
Oh, that's cool.
So there's Triumvirate on demand, I think, and there's a Triumvirate, not an open, but a larger event. So, and then of course, like the Twin Suns and grinding prize wall tickets, like that's what it should be.
Yeah, and like, don't get me wrong, like the reason why I don't find like a 7-in-1 like event attractive is just because like that is a long grind for like to just get into the event. Like, I would use my points allocated elsewhere, or just understand that like it's very unlikely that I'm going to get in. My criticism is more with like my experience, like what kind of experience I want to have, not in terms of them doing it. I think it's a great idea. I think like for the year one, making it more of a celebration of SWU, and then now that we have points, and now that we have this like more background with our competitive, like I think that's good. It should be like a Pro Tour level event.
I agree though, Maddie. The difference between like, Mike grinded in last year, you bubbled out. but like it was a realistic expectation. Like you could
6-2.
qualify for one. Like that's like okay. And if you didn't do it, it's like, oh man, I wasn't good that day. Now it's like 7-1. You can't expect to go 7-1. Like that is it's a gift if you get it. It's like oh man, that was awesome. I 7-1. I snuck in. I made it. But that is not like an expectation. Where you kind of say like, you know what? I'll just grind day one. I'll get in. I think that extra losses changes that math.
It's huge.
That ship
it's
has
doable.
sailed.
Because a lot of people who did, like I went 7-1 last year, and a bunch of people just started 6-0 or 7-0. So when you, just like in a PQ, when you front load your wins, the losses at the end don't matter as much. So you just got to front load them. But obviously you have to.
Sometimes you play your brother round one and he wallops you and you you win. I was like, man, I won 4 straight and it didn't even matter.
Yeah, you got close though.
Yeah, it's close. It was good.
So a couple things. Because this rules document got leaked, there are some prizes that we learn here, like Luke Skywalker Galactic promo, Matt, championship black pack that has Falcon, Morgan, Lando, Jin, Krennic, Cyril, Zeb, Cinta, and Obi-Wan, Legacy Run, Fet's Fire Spray, another Anakin. Luke 8 set leader enamel pin, so we know that Luke will be a leader in Ash's the set 8 Worlds format, which is pretty cool. I don't have all the prizes here, but like, for Swiss you'll earn black packs. I jumped right to the top 64 because I thought it would be interesting. Like they're giving away a top 64 Galactic Championship uncut sheet of silver pack cards. There'll be a top 64 card pack like the lightsaber pack last year. When you move into top 32, you get a pre-Vizsla game mat. That's pre-Vizsla is. I would expect him to also be a leader in set 8. So he's the top 32 mat. You get a full set of black pack cards, and then when you move into top 16, you get a Bo-Katan mat. So I would expect there to be a Bo-Katan, new Bo-Katan leader. And you get 3 of each black card. So any thoughts on these? Adding sheets, doing the top 64 pack, pre-Vizsla mats, Bo-Katan mats?
Is there going to be like, this is going to be set 9, right? Worlds is always a new set at set 9. Like
set 8.
Oh, right, 8. Where 7's coming out now, that's Lawless Time. 8 will be Worlds. So like, are we expecting like a set 8 pre-Vizsla that's going to slap? Is that what this is telling me?
I mean, at least the art will slap, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, interesting. Cool. This is random Lucasfilm things, but this is the first time that SWU has existed when a Star Wars movie will be in theaters. So
yeah, that's true.
Mando, Bo-Katan,
right.
I mean, I don't know the connection there. Obviously, like a show like Andor was Emmy nominated and all that, and like that's happening. But it is cool. Like game, new content. Maybe there's some connection there where they're saying, "Hey, hype these things," and pre-Vizsla is cool. I think this is cool. I mean, I think. Listen, we're past a year ago. We were saying, is there going to be $50,000 for first place at Galactic? So that those days have gone. But I do think that like things like silver packs, black packs are really popular at the sectors and regionals. So seeing the Worlds ones will be really cool. And then like the exclusive stuff, like the sheets have been awesome. And then like like the lightsaber pack last will continue to do that. More levels. I do hope, this is my one hope, that the top 16, top 8 cards are somehow tiered in a different way, because those, as Mike, you've won 2 sectors, that like champ card isn't something that's like all that hyped.
They were last year for Worlds. Like Ian has 3 finalist ones. You know what I mean? Benton had 3 championship ones.
It'd be cool if they could figure out a way to kind of up the hype there. I don't know if it's like a serialized version of it or something to kind of push it.
I have I have the leader. I have the championship prize too, but I just wanted to say I do hope Bo-Katan is in the Mandalorian Grogu, but I don't think pre-Vizsla will be, unless there's a flashback. No spoilers. The champion mat for the Galactic champion mat is Poe Dameron. So
we're getting a new Poe?
We're supposedly getting a new Poe. I mean, Ashes of the Empire could be a lot of different eras of the Star Wars saga. But,
I mean, Poe's a big character, right?
Yeah, but I'm just saying in terms of like Ashes of the Empire,
right?
Bo-Katan pre-Vizsla, like their Ashes, that's pre-Empire. Although Bo is post-Empire, and so yeah, Bo and Poe are, but the championship prizes are crazy. So, one top 8 promo Finn set, the prize wall set, uncut sheet of black pack cards, 2 full sets of black pack cards, the POMAT. There was also, maybe it got cut off, but I thought they also won a showcase of every card.
I've heard that too. I did see that when people were chatting, they were commenting in our area. So yeah, I don't know. There's definitely been a lot of cool prizes. This is hype. This is cool.
Yeah, it's a good pack. I mean, the mat seems like the standalone thing, other than the card, right? It's like the mat and then your champion designation card are like the 2 things that are very distinct. And then does anyone else get an uncut sheet of black pack cards?
I'm not sure.
I'm just trying to think of like what makes you distinct.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's okay.
Yeah, the top 16 does.
Okay.
And top 32 gets silver. So top 16 is for the black pack sheets.
Yeah, it seems. I mean, these are like, I've been on record that I want an uncut sheet so bad, and then now they're adding new layers to it with the silver cards and the black pack cards. I think that's cool. Sign me up for a Poe Dameron champion, Matt. That's probably gonna be sick.
It's gonna be hype. Yeah.
All the Poe cards have been pretty hype. So
yeah, love it. Really excited for these prizes. I think that's it for Galactics. Yeah. So next up, the gang goes to NYC. I had to include this
Steve
picture
was so thrilled.
Steve was like in rough shape. We had a really long drive down to New York.
Yeah, it took an extra hour at least.
Yeah,
we got regulated to the back seat. That is rough times.
Get in the car second, and the sick thing too is now like on the way home, I was like ready. You know, like we drove over to the venue. I put my stuff in the back, like was ready to pass the torch, and then Steve trained home because he didn't want to wait for the inevitable Mike's victory. So
yeah,
I got front seat both ways.
Nice. I was pretty excited to go to my first limited PQ. I posted the song that I listen to now before every round of every tournament I play in, the F1 opening song from the movie F1, my anthem, my new anthem. So that was pretty hype.
It was awesome, man.
Yeah,
we had a great boys trip. 3 married men out to Valentine's Day dinner together. That was fun.
Yeah, that was great. We ate at a very fancy restaurant. We were the only non-couple there. Like, there were groups of couples, but we were the only one that was like 3 dudes.
I was definitely FOMO jealousy to the max. I was living my Matt Gem, KTOD Maddie vibes of that weekend.
Now you know how it feels, man.
Yeah, stuck at home. I've been there. It's tough. It's tough. Yeah, so, Maddie, you were just coming off a PQ top 8.
Limited. You handed me my first limited... my first sealed loss, because the pre-release I bested both of you suckers, and then I went 4-0, then 2 draws at my PQ, and then first round I got paired against you, and you had definitely a good deck into the mirror. I feel like just the way both of our decks operated, but we both were Sly boys.
Yep, I had a very aggressive Sly.
Yeah, I had really good heroic cards, and like I could have tried to play a Mon Mothma game based off like just between the numbers, of just like a solid good pool. But I opted for Sly for the higher. Well, number one, I had Tarkin and Fulminatrix on the top end, and then I went for like let's be aggressive, and then flip to the bombs in the later game, and it worked out really well. I mean, I was feeling really good.
I opened probably the best Leia yellow pool I could have ever dreamed of, and I had not even a single hero leader, so I had to go villain. My top end were 2 5-drop 4/5 Sentinel spaceships, but I had 2 of those, 2 ISB shuttles, and 2 of the 4/4 spaceship. And I said, like, okay, these are some of the best space cards I can possibly have for Sly. So even though I think that this deck is not ideal, I think what it does is ideal. And I was able to go X and 1, losing only to the broken Leia red or Leia green that I registered across from. So I knew every card he had, and I was like, well, here comes the second Naboo security force. And I lost in game 3 there. It was really tight. I almost pulled it out, but his pool was just too gross. Got to shout out Hex & Co. for insane prizing. Everyone got a box of Legends of the Force. Everyone got at least one pre-release box of Legends of the Force. This must have come in the top 8 pack, but I got 2 Twilight of the Republic packs, which I thought was like crazy random. But so they paid the judges in boxes too, and the judge was like, "What am I going to do with a Twilight box?" And so I have so many boxes of Legends of the Force that I traded him an LOF box for a Twilight box just so I could try and get a Yoda showcase or an Anakin showcase. So I'm going to open that live in the Discord at some point next week. But I am going to open these Twilight packs in hopes that we get.
That must have been your top 8 because I didn't get those bad Larrys.
Must be. No. Nala say, can we get one?
Well, Nala say's like cycle through.
Yeah.
Padme. I can't imagine there's any legendaries in here that are worth anything, but. Ooh, Chancellor Palpatine, that's a legendary.
What else did I want to say on that PQ?
And Mace Windu's.
Oh, Callus just ripped me up. Games 1 and 3 of my. I couldn't actually. It wasn't actually a win in because I don't think my breakers were going to be good enough to draw, but it was like, the penultimate round, X1. Callus just being a 6/6 with that 3-for-1 me was too
and
much
that's
to
ultimately
overcome.
what I liked about your pool was that you had bombs because like bombs can take over the game. Like when my 3 losses in Paris, one was to like a suited up punishing one, and the other 2 were game 3 super grindy Bo-Katans finishing me off. So like the bombs can get you there when you're at parity.
Fulminatrix was huge for me, and actually both were. Fulminatrix was huge for me, and then like the Tarkin was kind of insane because like sometimes some of these Leia decks, they'll drop Jade City on you, or they'll drop Coronet on you, and try to kind of like grind you out the last point of damage that way. Because like one thing that I noticed, and I brought it up to you guys, and you probably already knew this, you played more limited than me, but like those Leia decks, because Leia has so much in the back end, right? She's got 7, and then like she's got 7 ass, and then 8 if you buff her, right? So like they don't, like a good Leia player just starts going to your fucking head. Oh, your face, because I know, like she just goes face because like you can it's so hard to kill her, and she's going to represent like 11 damage.
Yeah.
And so you hit with her twice, you play a ship, or they have something to block you. You've hit with her once, you attack into the Sentinel. Now Jade City's sitting there for 7, ready to go the next turn. And so that was one of the ways that I beat Leia, was stealing a ship later with the Tarkin. You just have to be mindful that they can he can get killed.
That the 6/7 worm is a vehicle?
Yeah, I stole that in a match too.
So
yeah, it's
me and Mike
so
is the only people who didn't know that, and we've just been trying to tell everyone else, assuming that no one knows. Everyone we tell is like, yeah, duh.
It is a crazy thing that worm, but then it's like a centipede worm.
Mm-hmm.
So one thing too that I wanted to mention really quick, I know I'm on like my limited tirade, is like Leia is very, very strong. Don't get me wrong, but it's exacerbated if she gets initiative, because there's so many times where I would start with like a 3/3 into like a 2/3, but they have initiative, so then that's immediately a 3/4, and then you're screwed. Where like if you eat that thing, now you can get ahead on board before she flips, and that I hate to boil it down to initiative because that's something you can't control, and you don't always want to harp on that. But if you get initiative against Leia, I think you gain those very important win percentage points that I think would have actually, I think I could have top 8'd, because that was
it also depends on if Leia is starting a 2-drop versus a 1-drop. Because if Leia starts a 1-drop, you'll get your initiative, but they'll have something with 4 HP, which is ultimately why those 1-drops are so good. Is because you don't have initiative, but you don't have a unit that can get got in the way even the 3/3s can by a 3/2 or even a 3/1.
Yeah, the 1-drops are absolutely gross. It's just like if they don't see those, like if they see the 2/2, it's red Leia, you trade. That's better than like losing initiative and then they have a 3/4 and then they eat your guy, and then like you need to get ahead because Leia's going to come out. She's just so good. But I'm just like thinking of like ways you can attack her.
Yeah, well, it's a good segue to the top 8 draft. So I was the featured drafter on the McClunky stream, and I opened Leia and I got past Leia, and I was the only 2 Leias at the entire table. That's it. There were only me. Which gave me a little bit of an advantage. I was watching back to read the stream comments and hear what people had to say, but it was just like, oh, well, Mike's got all 3 heroes in Blue Hero, so he's kind of screwed. But I felt great. I felt amazing that I was the only Leia, and I had no being the only blue-white leader. Like, being locked into that didn't even enter my mind. I was just like, of course I am. I'm going to play the best color combination with the best leader, and I'm going to have such an advantage because nobody else is going to be able to do what Leia does.
Yeah, and sometimes those things are like, I don't even think you like scaffold it. It just falls into your lap, and people maybe don't understand it, and they're like, oh, I'm only hero. They're like nestled between all villains. It's like you're just blessed there. It's not the other way around. In Pod 1 in Philly, I was basically all of my drafts that I've ever been in competitive for SWU. I played in 3. I've been fortunate to be on the right end of a leader chain. So there's Talzins to my left, but I'm actually still Talzin or something. Actually, the top 8 I was the left Talzin. That was the worst. But you're kind of looking at position and you're seeing and you look over and you're like, man, that guy's got such a great spot because he kind of knows he's getting all those cards in that whole region of the circle, So yeah, I think you were definitely hooked up there.
Yeah.
The other thing too is unlike you can't hate out cards that much. Obviously there's splashable cards that are just good that you can take, but because the amount of playables is you don't have lands like Magic does. So
Yeah.
you're so strapped for playables that if you're Bobby's Leia red and I have 2 good villain leader, I'm gonna take this B2 emo off his hands. It's you're not gonna do that. That would be suicidal.
Right. Yeah, it's not good, and it's not good. It's not really good in any other decks for the most part. And you don't get that many misses in Star Wars Unlimited. You play 30 cards out of 42. So
yeah,
you
don't have the time to hate.
Yeah, not great.
Maybe end of pack you take something because you literally there's no option. But it's very niche.
Yeah,
versus
or just you can splash things I splashed the 5/3 ship off color and paid 6 for it in Swiss. So you can do it. This is what I ended up with. I'm not sure I built perfectly. I ended up boarding in Cadal Conics and Tread Trees, and actually Justin and I talked for 30 minutes before the draft during my my draw round, and then I got offered to be the feature drafter, and I said okay, I downloaded everything you said, but I'm gonna do my thing, which is play by feel, keep these things in mind. Don't tell me I messed up until tomorrow, basically. Even if I messed up, but I think I did pretty well. I think I got past some great stuff. I think I made some good decisions. I made some decisions that maybe I would like to take back, but in the end, it all worked out, and we got there. We won the championship, and Justin's walking through the hotel, so I'll keep vamping. But he and I did record a video for the Kashik Operative tier, where we watched the draft, about a 30-minute video talking about our prep, my prep, what I learned from him in our pre-draft call, what we learned doing the draft, which I think is a really great video. And yeah, the one drops in the Populous Champion and the Karis Nemec really get the job done. And the Strike Force X-Wings, I think, were really, really great. But the getting past 2 Beguiles in Pack 3 were just MVP.
Was insane. Yeah, I was gonna say, outside of which we talked about the Karis Nemec versus the Jade Patrol pick. And Karis was insane for you the whole time. Was there any other pick that stands out like that? That was a big.
You could see that I didn't play the second BMO. I didn't know which one drop not to play. I think I just too heavily took the one drops. I wanted to take them at the beginning so I wouldn't miss them, but then I just kept getting more, and I could have let some go and taken higher curve things. I don't know what I had the option to take, but I'm sure that there's a 3, 4, or 5 drop at some point I could have taken over a 1 drop. So I think that one of those, but I took Populous Advisor over a Mon Mothma and some other bombs in the pack because I need a Populous Advisor in a table with all Yalarans and stuff. So that was a pick that me and Justin singled out as being really good. Justin didn't like my Hallcraft pick. I think I picked it over another 2 drop, but I needed stuff for the late on the curve. And it's tough when everyone watching can see everything I pick on the screen, but I can't. and they only gave us 30 seconds in between packs. And so the one thing that I was like checking in my 30 seconds is like, how's my late game curve? Because I realized I was taking a lot of low cost stuff. So I just was trying to prioritize in pack 3 a little bit higher of a curve. And then I got that remote escort tank like second to last pick in one pack. So that was huge.
Yeah, that escort tank is so insane. And seeing you get that late was like kind of crazy, but like it was kind of
there just wasn't a lot of hero at the table.
Yeah,
I was the only 2 hero decks, so hero stuff's going around.
Yeah,
but ultimately,
that's the nice thing.
Got the win. That puts me over 800 points now. Still in third, but we are hyped as we head into regional weekend.
800 points. Oh my god, I forgot about Steve's butt.
But now we got Stevie's butt. I don't know, Justin. Can you listen to this, or are you feel like you've been walking for 10 miles?
Yeah, I'm ready to roll.
Okay.
All right, Stevie's butt. Here we go.
All right, here's Stevie's butt.
Star Wars Unlimited is the greatest game ever. But it's a game for youth. I'm getting too old for this shit. Another PQ this weekend. Another limited pool. 1-2 drop. I mean, I even had Typho and Amidala this past weekend, so I don't know. Must be me. Maybe I'm just getting too old to see the board. I don't know how anybody older than me plays, let alone Tada at his age. Or I guess like the real mind-boggling question is how Mike and Justin keep winning, keep top 8ing when they're 4 years older than me. I just don't get it. Maybe it's time to hang up the gloves. Speaking of which, we're going to be adding Vince to the team for Milwaukee this weekend. Got a nice little young buck on the team to help bring down the aggregate age. Get a little youth. Maybe it'll inspire me to actually play well this weekend. Hopefully, I'll see you in Milwaukee.
All right, making announcements in the Stevie's butt.
He likes to do that in the Stevie's butt.
I wish I'd known he was doing that because I would have put Vince's slide up for the press release on the screen right now. But yeah, we are adding Vince from Canada, Toronto, someone that Justin has worked with a lot. Helped Justin win his first PQ with Sabine Data Vault way back when. And he'll be with us in Milwaukee this weekend, repping KTOD as like the young master, the young one that we're going to try and build up and show the way of professional Bozo card games.
Yeah, I really like Vince, and I like him for a lot of reasons. He's a super smart kid. He's very good at the game. But how I met him is I actually in our Discord expressed like, "Hey, I'm really struggling right now, and I don't know what to play." And he basically messaged me and was like, "Hey, you do a lot. You're awesome. Now it's time for you to like reap some of these rewards. I came in third or something at a PQ, and with this deck, I think it's great." Explained like all the angles. Just download. I'm just like chatting with him all the time anyway. And then finally, he won a PQ recently. He's been like, always message me and says like, "Hey, good job. This is what you should do. I think I like this." Or constructive criticism, like, "I don't think you should have done this in this spot. You should have done this instead." So it just made sense to add him and hype to unveil him in Milwaukee. Our new weapon. It's very reminiscent of Civil War. With
yeah, you're Tony. Is this you?
I'm Tony. He's Peter Parker.
I think about that scene a lot. Just like as far as
like,
vegan date nuts go, that's not bad, or whatever it was.
He does bring down our average age by quite a bit.
Oh yeah, it is crazy. Steve like kind of got to it, but like Justin and I are 45, and I think like everyone on the top 32 is probably everyone else in the top 32 is probably like 10 years younger than us.
I'm the oldest person in the top 32. Is that true?
I'm guessing. I don't know how old everyone is, but like I look around and all these guys are like Sip's 20 years younger than us, like 22 years younger than us. We were
Hey man,
like,
that's how cards work.
Yeah.
You're like a degenerate in your 20s. You're a degenerate in your 20s. You have a lot of time. You're just grinding games. You're playing for 1 million hours a day. And then, life starts to get in the way and it gets harder to grind. But then you got the summer Bobby. Your kids get a little older,
Mm-hmm.
Justin, your kids are getting a little older. Like the time kind of finds its way back in.
I think about like, I was on Costa's team for Magic when he top 8'd his first PT in Honolulu, and he lost to Finkel. and we were like young buck, but it's like, yeah, the old dog still got some tricks up their sleeve on Sunday too.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? So maybe the young guys have got it made on Fridays, but I'll take our age demographic on Sundays.
Yeah.
Dude, I was saying this to like Mike about golf. Like people know me. Like I'm an avid golfer, or was before my second kid. I haven't been golfing that much, but I follow the pro tour and everything. And it's like the guys that come out of college out the gates like end up being pretty insane. And then like you have like Jordan Spieth and like Justin Thomas, who were insane, and granted there's like injuries and stuff, but they're like, now they have young kids and they're kind of washed a little bit. But then like one of the best, hottest golfers in the game is this 46-year-old dude, Justin Rose. Actually he's 44 maybe, but like his kids are older, he's out there getting the practice in, and he's like crushing it. He's like coming second at all these majors and all this stuff. It's like, hey man, the resurgence. And
Yeah. Justin, we joked last week, I think, about the night you took my car down to Foxwoods. We were 21. That's the same night Sip got conceived, I'm guessing. The same exact night.
I could make a joke, but I'm not going to make a joke of.
Yeah, I'm glad you're not. We're moving on.
it's a lifetime away.
We're on to Milwaukee. So this weekend is hype. The regional is here. This is the only regional championship in the United States before Worlds, because we know that we basically know that the regional championship for set 7 is going to be in Europe. And the regional championship is massive for the Player of the Year points because it gives out 400 points per regional, and there are 2 regionals. So absolute.
And it's scaled.
And it's
so like seconds more, top 32 is more, top 64 is
right.
More,
It's so many more points in this one weekend than there are points the whole rest of the season outside of these regionals. And because not a lot of American players travel internationally, I think we were the only people who traveled to Paris. I don't know how many people will go to the regional in Europe. It depends on where the location is. It depends on what weekend it is. Like if it's Memorial Day weekend and people can get away, and it's in a city where the airport is really accessible from the United States, and I could see a lot of people traveling because it's not that far of a flight. But otherwise, this is where Americans are going to get a lot of their points. I know even though I won a PQ on Sunday, I'm still in third place. I need to have a good weekend here to get back in a first. And if I don't get back in a first this weekend, then I would say it's going to be really hard for me to get Player of the Year. I would probably, end up somewhere in the top 10, top 12, I would imagine.
Yeah, you're locked for top 16, I think. But you're obviously battling for Player of the Year. I think I'm not locked for top 32. I think I'm maybe on the bubble of top 32 where I am now. So I'm sort of battling for top 16, maybe top 8 if I can have a good showing. I agree with you. This is definitely the opportunity. Doesn't seem like FFG is guaranteeing that the regionals will be accessible for people who are crossing the ponds, because think about Europeans this weekend. You have to go to Milwaukee. That's not
easy.
So what's the European equivalent of Milwaukee for us? It's
Bilbao, because Bilbao was so hard to get to. Because I tried.
City that's off of the grid for a couple. You have to fly and you have to train for two hours or something along those lines. I think I'd love to go to the European regional. Paris was awesome. I'd love to go if it was in London, if it's in Milan, it's a city you can fly right into from New York or Boston. Yeah. And then you're basically there within, a 30-minute Uber ride or something along those lines. But yeah, it's a big event. And I'm hyped to play. Hopefully I'm only playing on the left-hand side of that screen.
Well, one thing I just if you are somebody really needing to grind your points, I wouldn't sleep on trying to find an angle in Premiere. It's something we've talked a little bit more in our weekly tournament prep podcast, but just to peel the curtain back, if the majority of people are this event is established, or I'm really more focused on limited, if that is a sentiment you hear a lot, there is the chance that you just put a little extra time to see what you can find out there.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's great. I think maybe Friday, Saturday is just a better time frame for people. People like me who have to work on Monday, can't take the day off. Maybe people just want to sign up for limited and fly home Sunday, hang out, maybe do a side event, fly home Sunday early and not really stress. I think that these big events, and like we talked about a little bit with Galactics too, but these big events allow you to sort of cultivate the weekend you want to have. If you just want to play limited, you can go play limited and then do some side events. If you just want to play constructed, there's an opportunity for you to do that too. There's always side events firing at these things, Twin Suns. Maybe they'll have Triumvirate here. It's being professionally casted this time, which is like really huge hype. So even if you're not there, maybe you just want to watch and follow along, because they have 4 professional casters on the team. One of whom is like already interviewed Justin and is interviewing me tomorrow because they want to know more. We like asked for our press release, sent them our press release. So one of the complaints that we had, it was actually Stevie's butt last week, was just like pushing player, like advertising players, like making them the focal point of the game. And that's something that like hopefully and presumably is going to happen this weekend.
Feels like they're moving in the step right in the right direction. Maybe a little smaller than we'd like, but they have been some social media posts that have shown like top players winning. Like I think they had a picture of Sip and even Ophir from last year's regional championship being the champion there, of like it's coming, and we want to see more of that. I think it's kind of, in my mind, it's kind of a no-brainer. I was really critical last week, but if they are moving, even if it's slow, I think that's still a really positive thing.
Do you guys have
these
any
mats?
Yeah, the mats are cool. I love the tray mat, the champion mat. I think it's really cool.
The tray mat's really cool.
What do you think? What are your predictions? Give me some hot take predictions for this weekend. Maybe like what's going to win limited, what's going to win constructed, is like what's the most played deck in constructed or premier, anything you think.
I would say for limited, like I think like Fly or Leia are probably going to take the draft. That'd be my take on that. And for constructed, maybe people look to the past. Maybe there's like I don't know about Sabine, but maybe there's just like like the meta cyclical. Like I would have probably played Yoda. Like maybe someone cracks a Yoda.
Yeah.
The not so heavily played Yoda deck.
Bobby Sapphire wins a regional. Not going to say which one, premier or limited, but Bobby takes down his first regional championship to add on to 2 sectors. Steve's not here to make the outlandish prediction, so I have to jump in.
All right, yeah, you have to do it because he would do it every time.
Yeah, well, I'll certainly be trying. I felt at times the past couple months that I hadn't been playing as well as I had when we were in Philly and Portland, but this past weekend felt good. So hopefully I'm in the right spot. Hopefully I get some sleep. I'm getting in early, so I'll be well rested. And yeah, I mean, that's why we go. I'm going to make a run at it. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, come say hi.
Yeah,
we'll be in the
please
mix.
come talk to us. Like,
is that Nemec in the top left?
Yeah, that's the Karis Nemec. You can see right here. It's the black pack alt art Nemec. So
that one's sick.
That
I like that they
should
pulled
be
from
on
that art.
Prize.
Imagine like you got someone to write the manifesto. That'd be cool.
Oh, that would be really cool.
On the
Dude,
map.
that Nihilist looks sick.
Yeah, I think all the alts look great.
Yeah, they're
I love
pretty
this
insane.
Vader. I think this Vader was available in Bilbao. I'm not 100% sure because sometimes they bring some of these back, but I just kind of remember him standing on the TIE Fighter like in Twilight of the Apprentice, so I really like all these
first
cards.
American regional in a long time, so like these promos,
Right.
like these are going to be some hard to find cards,
Yeah.
some really sought after cards. So if you're going and you want to get them for yourself, that's great. But if you don't and you want to get some value, you'll definitely be able to get some value out of these.
Yep.
These are going to be very sought after because there were so many more sectors than regionals.
Yeah, the last time there was a regional, it was called a regional qualifier, and it didn't have packs at all. It just had mats.
Yeah.
It was basically a mat only prize wall with participation foils for everybody that had like Red 5 and Chewy and stuff. So
All the Maddies.
all the Maddies. This is pretty hype. And just the top 8 tray mat will be crazy.
Yeah, that thing is so sick.
Cool. All right. I think that's it for regional. Now we're going to talk about some of the spoilers that we got the last couple days. We play a little good, bad, broken with a couple hot button cards, the very polarizing cards coming out now with the last week of Lawless Time spoilers. We've got this red Aggression Hero Chewbacca. On his leader side, it's action, pay 1 resource, defeat a friendly resource, deal 2 damage to a unit, and create a credit token. He flips for 4 resources, not on 4, just you have to pay 4 to flip him. And he's a 5/6 Underworld Wookiee. On attack, you may defeat a friendly resource. If you do, deal 2 damage to a unit and create a credit token. So he's leveraging the resources you put in your row for unit damage and allowing you to create a credit. So instead of having that resource as a permanent resource, you get a one-time resource in the form of a credit token.
I think he's bad.
Yeah,
Okay.
I agree with Justin. Like, I think one of the things, like, there's a few things to unpack here. Like, one is, obviously, like, a 4 deploy cost is very attractive, and a 5/6 is a pretty big number. But if you have to sell out for that, like, that's getting hit by, like, you know, a first turn play and a second turn play, or a first turn play with some kind of pump. And like, one of the things that made Sabine so punishing was like, she came out and also got to develop. So you were like double developing, but here you're only single developing. And people, and the other thing too is like, if you're trying to do the credit game and you're trying to get it out really early, like then you're taking deck building spots into that. If at any point any of those hosers are well played, or if this deck becomes good, the hosers completely blow you out, like the things that kill credit or blank credit. So like, I just don't know, man. I don't think I want to pick my whole turn and use up my whole leader to put the 5/6 in play. Like, here's the same token, right? So that's 11 in stats. Sabine plus K2 is 11 in stats, but that is so different, right? That's and that's kind of where I'm at with it. Bad.
I love cards like this because if we can break them, they will be broken. And I know it's a sellout to flip a leader early, but when you have a 5/6 on turn 2, it is really hard to deal with. We know that there's a supreme lack of removal right now in the format at post-rotation, and I don't know how much is going to be there to get them. Obviously, there are things like Condemn.
Sentinels.
There are Sentinels for sure. There's a lot that could potentially be there. It really just comes to, will there be a deck that can do it? Because you need to have pushed stuff like this to make decks that are pushed. You can't like make a broken deck that flips with like we tried with Lando, right, who flips on 4, and like it wasn't good enough. So there was nothing to push for. When we pushed, we got a 2/5 and we're like, this sucks. So I like this card in that there gives us something to shoot for, because so much of this game so far has been like, I'm going to go to 5, I'm going to trade out your unit, I'm going to flip my leader, I'm going to hit for 3.
Yeah, but we're selling out to make a 5/6. Like, we're not through the Breaching Emrakul. We're not making a million tokens.
That's
like
the problem.
We're selling out to make a 5/6. Like, and I know that he's sticky, but like, or can be sticky with the lack of removal, but like, there's infinite Sentinels in the world. There's the credit hosers are very plentiful. Like, if this ever became like even remotely meta, I think it's really easy to swap down. I think
those bases that were like 26 that would make your leader +1. It's like it gives you a little bit of margins, but like that's like you're spending 4, as Maddie's saying, to get this guy out. Whereas Sebulba is a leader also in the set that attacks for 3. So like, and flips, and you get to have your turns, and you get options to like Unveiled Might him, which are essentially the same, but actually become like a better stat line because you'd be like a 5/8.
Yeah, and you're like feeding your aggressive negotiation. Well, I guess this does too. So
this does it too, but like it's basically like this is basically like Deidre that gives you Unveiled Might every game, but at the same time, it's like you're locked into that, so you have to do it. You don't get blown up by upgrades, but like it's not like Deidre and Sebulba, their Unveiled Might are like taking over any format. So I just think this is bad.
Okay.
I'd actually rather play Lando. I thought that, dude.
I'm interested in trying to.
If there were no Sentinels in the format, I think this card would be actually pretty interesting. But like, I think like Captain Typho takes 4 off this guy, and it's just really hard.
I think they need to push him more. Like, we talk about pushing things, like give him Saboteur, make him a 5/7.
Would be
push it
crazy.
a little more. I think that would be more attractive to me.
Tap out first, So like you lift him, and it's their action. It's not like you lift him and he attacks. So like you lift him, then they typho. What do? Pass.
Right.
Like just put 4 damage into your guy, then they claim and kill him with a spy. Like that's bad.
Yeah,
it hurts, man.
They also reprinted Village Protectors. Basically, there's a 2/1 shielded sentinel for 3 that they released today. I was gonna put it on here, but I didn't. I put Broken Horn on here instead. 5 cost 5/4 red yellow aggression cunning ship. If you have fewer cards in your hand than your opponent, draw a card. If you control fewer resources than an opponent, resource the top card of your deck. So it's like Space Cham Syndulla.
I would call this Good Horn.
Good Horn.
Yeah, it's a solid card.
Nice.
I mean, there's not as much ramp in the meta to like give him the champ, but he has got Bolt, which I like, which is nice. And like, yeah, if you were to play Chewbacca, you'd like yellow with Chams and Broken Horns, and Kazuda is probably the thing you would do, except for, again, like you can't play Kazuda on the same turn you deploy, which is kind of. But yeah, Good Horn. I like Good Horn. That's a good name.
Like just cards that draw like randomly, like it's gonna create like a weird dynamic where you're be like, how many cards do you have? How many cards do I have? That doesn't generally matter. Like profundity matters with that. There's not a ton of cards that matter with that. So like early on in the game,
yeah,
having to like check people, like, do I resource? Do I not resource?
One thing that I don't miss
like,
is Magic players asking me every turn how many cards are in my hand, like 3 times a turn. That's like still 4, buddy. Still 4.
I know. I did the card in hand thing a little more than normal in limited because I was basically doing what you said. Is like it's very Star Wars can be very mathematical, and I'm trying to see how much I've outgrinded my opponent sometimes, and just making sure I'm up on cards.
Yeah. Well, yeah, this card seems great. I'm excited to have good red-yellow cards out there because I like playing
to transport and Underworld, which those can be relevant.
Speaking of red-yellow, here's Chrysanthemum. 8 costs 7/7 aggression cunning Underworld Wookiee bounty hunter with ambush and overwhelm, and he has an action: discard 2 cards from your hand, return this unit to your hand from play. So not from your graveyard, from the table. So if he gets damaged, instead of sending him to the discard pile, you could potentially buy him back and have him again. What do you think of this card?
I think he's good. I think that like with credits, right, 8 is reasonable. If you're really trying to go over the top, I think he's more niche than like widely played. But if you are able to get those credits out, and 7 is such an important number there, and then the fact that he has the bounceable reach, I think is pretty insane, because there are times where, your opponent might be a little wider and you can like run over something, then they try to hit him back, then you pull him up, and then their spy's still alive, and you've locked in 5 damage for the next turn. I think that's pretty interesting. So like he's between good and bad for me, than good and broken. But I would slot him into good, because like every card is just a tool in your tool shed, and this does some interesting things. Therefore, even if there isn't always the place to do it, I think like there is a deck that's going to want to function some way like this.
I think bad just because for 8, I want my cards to do more. I think for everything Maddie said's right, but it's just 8 is like the one that really gets me there.
Yeah, I'm just going to always take note of something that has ambush and overwhelm. But we saw that those attributes on Maul, who was just green, right? Just a green villain. And he didn't see that much play. He didn't see as much play as I thought he would have. The credit thing, it does make it interesting, and then just a lot of the good cards rotating out. We have to see how many ambush options we really have. But if I'm in these colors and I make credits, like chances are I'm going to be looking for this guy, just because of being able to set up a huge overwhelm that also threatens lethal is one of the things that made that Maul good, and one of the things that I would really like to do mechanically when I play.
It's like Scalabrini, Justin. On the right team, he shines. If somebody wanted to one-on-one him off the streets from WEI or whatever it was,
they did that whole thing.
Yeah. He's gonna crush it. But he's just gonna be there if you need him. Like I think, like green. If red, yellow Lando is ever a thing, like it's you're like flipping with with this guy.
Yep.
With 1 to spare, I think. Maybe.
All right, I think that's. Oh no, I had one more. Tear the Ship Apart, the 7 cost event. Look at it's it's green, it's yellow, it's black. Look at all your opponent's resources. You may play one of those cards for free. If you do, that opponent resources the top card of their deck. I went on record in our Discord saying that I think this is the best card they ever printed. I think this card is broken. I don't know if it'll ever see play, but nothing does more than this card. Play a potential 12 cost for free, tap one of their resources. I love everything this card does. I'm certainly going to try and play it.
The design of this card is broken. I love like the concept of it and how it changes the way you have to think. I don't think this card is all that good. Ultimately, I actually think it would be really good in like current meta. I actually don't think there's as many like cards that you want to like. There's less Devastator, green Devastators, stuff like that you sort of pull in that way. But I think the fact that it makes people have to think, like if you're playing like these big top end control decks, you have to think about playing that Annihilator. Yeah, why not? It's kind of cool.
They need a card that says swap a resource with your, like it has to do something to swap with your opponent or something. I think that would be kind of insane. It might be too good if you could queue it up that way, but if you could ever control your opponent's resources in a certain way, like discard a card from your opponent's hand, but it switches resources with, a resource you choose or something like that. I think the power level has such potential. And if ever there is a control deck that comes back into the meta, like think last, what's it called? Last regional qualifier, right? Or regionals. We saw a large amount of Kira Data Vault, and one of the cards that they had at least in the sideboard was something like Annihilator, right? And being able to play that on 7 or even earlier, some resources, when you get that, remains to be seen how much ramp or whatever. But like that could be a good silver bullet. So right now I'd put it in the good silver bullet category. If they give it like any kind of interesting support, it could be like a 2-card combo that could be very interesting, cool.
Yeah,
I'd love to see that.
I'm very interested in trying to play this early. I'm very interested in the fact that it taps down an opponent's resource essentially when you play it against them. So doing that earlier could make it even crazier. And then what I really want to do is in a mirror match, play this and then play someone else's from there. So I actually get to tap down 2 of their resources and play another card of theirs. That's the dream. That's what I'm hoping to do.
Mike paying 7 to tap 2 resources.
Well, I'm gonna play 2 of their cards.
I know.
I'm gonna play this, and then I'm gonna play their Annihilator in their green, yellow, blue deck.
the one thing like that it is interesting is like level 1 thinking is like the big cards go down first, and and all that. Like there are going to be games you could still have a card like this. It's just like once you get to if it's commonly played, how do people work around that? Because then you end up keeping some bigger cards and trying to blank their thing. I like it. I will say they went for a lot of interesting design. Like they really, this set showed a lot of effort to me. Even if some of the cool cards don't make it, they're cool and you have to think about them. It's not, like the 17th iteration of like Horn Turtle or whatever. It's there is some cool stuff going on.
Cool. Yeah, it's spicy.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's just double check. That is it for this week's SWU Hype Train. If you've watched this all the way to the end, congratulations. You get this a day early because I'm going to post this on Thursday since we're all traveling this weekend. I want people to listen to and or watch it on the way to regionals. Please check out the regional stream. I don't know where that's going to be. I would imagine the SCG YouTube, but I'm sure you can find it in the KTOD Discord, on Facebook, anywhere you get your SWU news. Anything else from you guys before we depart for Milwaukee?
Hyped to see everyone at the regional. Missing Maddie at the regional, but pumped for SWU. Pumped for set 7. Pumped for limited. Pumped for set 6. I'm hyped. This game's great.
Take lots of pictures. Post them in the Discord. Share them with your friends. Put them on Facebook. Whatever. That's what it's all about. Community. Booyah.
Nice. All right. We'll see you in Milwaukee. Talk to you next week.